Right, folks, 3 tires just came in. These are very similar Victorias or Vittorias, although with a small difference in between them. So these are Rubino Pros, the 3 of them, but these ones are Pro Controls. This one is Pro Speed. Why don't I have 4 tires instead of just 3? Right. This is, for me, a summer tire. These two will be winter tires. I understand that Rubino Pro Controls are some of the best tires for winter riding. They are not the lightest, but they have a lot of qualities that make them good for winter riding. They're not expensive, also, and not too heavy. I think it's about the balance they have. They have a lot of technology on them. They go for $30 and or a little bit 32 or something each, and they are good. If they are similar to the Pro Speeds, they are really good tires. A few months ago, I made a video talking about losses, energy losses, while you ride your bike and use different tires. And I was talking about the Rubino Pro Speeds I have on my Specialized versus the Continental Grand Prix 5000. And although they are different dimensions on different types of bikes, I didn't feel a lot of difference between them. Nevertheless, and also the question was, does it make sense? Are you on the clock, right? That was the question. However, I feel, and that's it, it's only a feeling I have. I don't have the technology to measure it, nor I am comparing apples to apples. But I feel that my Rubino Pro Speeds 23mm with, on my Specialized single speed, with TPU tubes are faster. At least they are less sluggish without losing grip than my 28 Continental GP 5000 with TPU tubes. That's the same on my Chinelli bike. Now, I understand that with my Chinelli bike, with the Continentals, I'm riding an average of 10 kilometers or something like that, above an average speed, above the speed I'm riding with my Specialized. Would that make a difference? I believe so, yes. However, after many kilometers cycling with both tires, I feel that these ones are more dynamic than my Continental GP 5000s. Could it be because of the weight and the weight of the bike and the width of the tire? Of course. Do I think that's the case? No. Because I put more or less the same pressure on both bikes. The tire pressure, air pressure. I usually ride at high pressures because I hate the feeling of a sluggish bike. So usually I ride at 80 psi and I weigh 75 kilograms. Then there's the bike. These ones are 23s. On my Chinelli, well, this specific one is 25. Forget that. I'm talking about the ones I have installed. The ones I have on my Chinelli are Continental 5000 28s, and I still put 80 psi of pressure inside them. So by all means, those ones, the Continentals, should feel less sluggish than the Victorias. Because at the same pressure, air pressure, for a bigger width, they should be, how to say, your weight should impact less on the compression, have less impact on the compression of the tires. But still, that is not the case. I feel more friction on the, and not good friction, on the Continentals than I feel on these ones. However, that's friction. I still feel these ones to be very, very, very grippy on any sort of surface. When I need the grip, these ones have it. When I need the grip on the Continentals, they also have it. But at the same time, they'll feel a little bit more sluggish. So that's my opinion on why I like so much the Rubino Pro Speeds. Coming on to the Rubino Pro controls, I'm hoping these are at least on the same family of feeling regarding these ones, right? Now, this will go for on my Cinelli. This one will be my back tire, my rear tire on my specialized single speed. Why? Because the 23 I have there is on the wires already. It's fully worn out. So I'm changing the 23 for a 25, exactly the same model, only increasing in size a little bit. For my Cinelli bike, I'm using the same recipe now, and I'm about to change this. I'm about to have a new way of riding my bikes. I'm gonna start to ride my bikes with a one size, or there's also the size 26, but usually the current sizes, the most normal are 25, 28, 30, 23, 30, and 32. So if you go with common sizes, that would be, I'm riding a 28 pair of Continentals on my Cinelli. I'm sticking with these 28 for the rear tire, and I'm going to change the front one for a 25. That's twofold. You need the rear tire to be as wide as possible, or as it should be, right? Because you can ride a 32, it doesn't mean you should. You should have your rear tire as large as you should for your weight and typical use. However, the front tire almost never has the same amount of weight on it, on average, than the rear tire has. So why would you ride similar sizes? I don't see no reason for it. Also, there's weight. You have a weight penalty by using on this case, a 28 on the front when you're not needing it. So now you say, yeah, but I need a 28 on the front. Well, maybe, because the average weight on the rear is usually higher. You don't need a 28 on the rear. On that case, if you need a 28 on the front, you should need, by weight distribution, a 30 on the rear. Not equal sizes. That's something I don't understand. Then you have the weight penalty on the front, weight you're not using. And at the same time, there's the airflow of the bigger section, the largest tire has on the front. Why would I shoot myself on the foot by having more weight and less aero a less arrow tire on the front when I don't need it. Also, the rear one, why should you have a larger tire on the rear? When you slip your tires, usually it's the rear one. You lock it up and it slips on the ground and it wears out, right? So when you have a larger section, the area you're eating or chewing onto the tire will be larger, which means that the depth of how much you're wearing out during that slippage is lesser. Which means that the wider the tire, for the same amount of slippage, you're wearing less depth on it. You're still wearing the same amount of rubber, but you're chewing through the tire slower. That's another reason to ride a slightly larger tire on the rear than on the front. Now I'm following this recipe for my winter tires on my Cinelli. Same thing I did lately, or lastly, I did for my Continental GPs. I bought a 25 Continental. I'm sticking with the 28 for the rear. Front will be and is already a 25. Only Continentals. And then I'm gonna compare them both straight away, same bicycle. Now, granted, I'm comparing Pro Controls instead of Continental GP 5000 instead of Pro Speed. But still, will give me a good idea about it. Then on to the Rubino Pro Speed, I'm gonna use a 25 on the rear of my Specialized, following the same analysis. I'm gonna change for 25 on the rear of my Specialized because the tire there is gone already. Now, moving on to the weights, I have a scale here. Let me zero it out. One thing I did was to open the boxes. I know I have the paper. Let me take it up. So the Rubino Pro Speed 25 goes for 217 grams. I recall the 23s I have being 190 grams. So that's 30 grams of difference. Now going on to the Pro Controls 25, so same dimension. Hang on. Had to be a little bit improve on it a little bit. Alright, out with the paper. We don't need that. Weight 304, so that's 90 what? 95 grams of 97 grams of difference. So yeah, these are heavier, that's for sure. And also, I'm sure this is not a light tire in overall terms, because 300 grams, it's kind of a lot. And you can see that I mentioned the volume. There's these are the same size, only this one is thicker or taller. Also, at the same time, you can see the thread. They are different. The pattern is the same. Forget about this seam over here. The pattern is the same. Let me see. It seems that this one has a little bit of a color, but it is not. It is not color. You can rub it off. Anyway, the pattern is the same, but this one is taller or goes deeper. And funny thing is that it goes all the way to the sidewall, and this one doesn't. That's the sidewall over there. Yeah. For a moment there, I was doubting I was looking at the right place, but I'm not. So there's your edge for the rim, the edge, then the sidewall, then the thread. And this one goes all the way to the sidewall. And on this tire, you have as much on the sidewall as you have on the main thread over this side, which is funny. All right. Which maybe means that when they tell you it's a winter tire, we already know they have the same compound. So they maintain the compound, they maintain the shape of the thread, they only make it thicker. So that's marketing for you. Alright, so that was a way too long of a video to explain something that should be simple enough. I am out. Tell me what you think about my using two different tire sizes for the front and the rear. Tell me on the comments, and like and subscribe, and I see you on the next one. Take care.